This is Rick Cassell from exercisesforinjuries.com. Wanted to welcome you to another interview. I'm quite sure you've seen my past interviews when it relates to injury and pain, health, and fitness. And this interview I'm really excited about because we're going to talk about ageless energy, which is what Dawn is all about. And I won't introduce Dawn. I will get her to introduce herself, and you will just see through the computer or the TV the energy she ends up having. So Dawn, I'll get you to introduce yourself.
Hi, Rick. Thank you for having me today. I am super excited to be here in the internet world, and looking forward to this, talking about energy. Energy is a big thing that most women complain they don't have, so I'm really looking forward to helping everybody with some tips on how to reclaim that.
Oh man, Dawn, you sent me a bio and I didn't even read it. So okay, we're gonna keep going with it, but I'm gonna read Dawn's bio. So Dawn and I are gonna chat about ageless energy. So just to give you a little bit more of a background about Dawn, Dawn's really humble, but Dawn is a gym owner, being a guest speaker for Women's Group on anti-aging, contributor to Oxygen Magazine, LiveFitter.com, and has been a guest blogger on Cygen Labs and Suggestic Fitness sites, also receiving an expert author award from Ezine Articles. She's the author of the wildly successful ebook Final Fat Meltdown, a plan that reboots sluggish energy levels and kickstarts women's metabolic rates back to youthful levels without starving or endless cardio. She's a co-owner of a gym her husband has coached women into a lifestyle of energy, fat loss, and vitality for over 20 years. Dawn is a confessed ex-cardio queen. That's awesome, ex-cardio queen. And fad dieter, as when she was in her 20s, she did back-to-back aerobics classes, aerobic marathons, owned a treadmill and a step mill, and was heavier than she is now after having a child at 36 and being 50 plus now. Dawn has helped over 1,000 women revitalize their bodies and take control of their weight and energy levels. So there you go. Now you have a better idea of who Dawn is. So maybe we'll start off with about what is ageless energy.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite terms, and I just kind of came up with it the other day, and now it's become a favorite. When you said we need a topic, I'm like sitting there with my husband, and I just looked at him and said, "Ageless energy." When I ask women, I've also done hair for 28 years, so I stand behind the chair 3.5 days a week. I work in our gym 2.5 days a week. Now I have this wildly successful online business that energizes me even more. But when I ask women what your biggest issue in life is, most women would think it would be, time management, but most women say that they're tired. They're constantly tired. They don't have the energy to do things. And I've been called the Energizer Bunny, and do I have a magic potion, and how do I get my energy? And I mean, Rick, I don't even know if you know this about me, but I actually have a thyroid disorder and an autoimmune disorder that really keeps women lethargic, overweight, and having a whole lot of chronic issues, which I've had to force myself even more than my normal energy levels to eat healthier and really reclaim my health so that those bad words don't define me. So wow. Endless and ageless energy is being able to get through the day and, not following fads and trends, and coaching women to be able to do the same, and to keep doing it.
Awesome. And then maybe you can kind of share with you, you've talked a little bit about bits and pieces, hairdresser, you've had some chronic conditions in the past, now you do hairdressing, and you have the gym, and then also now you're helping people online. Maybe you can kind of talk about your journey, expanding a little bit more on an ex-cardio queen and fad dieter, and kind of talk about a little bit of your journey, how you kind of, tried it all, and now you're where you're at 50 and looking better at 50 than you did at 36.
Thank you. Actually 55, soon to be 56, but
that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and if I can help people feel like I feel, then that's what my job is, and it makes me happy to be able to do that. But my journey, it's kind of a classic one that I can help. I want to help women get to where I am now, because what I used to do is what I think so many women do. I followed the idea that less food and more exercise means that tight, fit, sexy body, which if you look in my Final Fat Meltdown page, I had to put a before picture up there. I guess people would never have believed that that was me, and I was extremely overweight and miserable and depressed and angry and irritable and all things that women that follow fad diets and cleanses and fasts. And I did back to back, Rick, I did a 12-hour aerobic marathon when I was 40 pounds overweight. I mean, it's unreal to think of what I did. And then I came home and drank a diet pop and ate, a low fat and a no fat and all these, trendy words that I didn't sleep well and I was not happy. And what really transformed me was I was the first in the front of the class all the time in my aerobics class, 6 times a week. And we had a substitute teacher one day, and she had the fittest, tightest, most energized body and attitude. So of course I stayed after, and I was like, I want to be just like you. And then she's like, well, then get out of this class. And I'm like, what? Like take another class? And she says, no, start eating some food. I can tell that you're really having a hard time getting through these classes. Where I thought I was like the stellar student, And she said she never did cardio. And I said, wait a minute, what do you mean you never do cardio? That's how you lose weight, right? And she says, no. She says, I just do body weight stuff, a little bit of weightlifting, sometimes a little heavy weights here and there. And I literally, I don't know, something must have flipped a switch in my head because I had been doing what I had done for so long. And I was so miserable and, that beating a dead horse over and over and over to get the same exact result that when I started, you have to change your mind before your body will change. So I think I changed my mind quickly and started adapting little teeny things of what she said, still being resistant like so many women are. And when I started getting away from cardio, chronic cardio, I had more energy. When I started eating foods that didn't say diet on it or lean cuisine or didn't have those stereotypical words, low fat, low sugar with all the added crap in it, I started to really become energized. And first thing is I started to lose inches. And of course I was a slave to the scale. I wanted to lose weight. Well, now I tell women, I don't care what you weigh. What do you feel like? How strong are you? How energized are you? And how much muscle do you have on your body? So long story short, my transformation took place, I started seeing a huge difference in about 30 days. In 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, I think I lost a total of like 42 inches and was down to like a size 4.
Wow.
And it was doing the exact opposite of what women think you should do. I literally ate more. I exercised less. And another quick story, Rick, that when I turned 50, I felt like I had never really had a personal goal with an end at it. And I felt like I had transformed my body so much. I had been personally training women. We had just opened our gym. I had a very supportive husband, and I decided
Greg's awesome. Greg's awesome.
Thank you. He is my biggest fan. And I decided to do a bodybuilding show. And I came in out of 23 women, being the oldest woman, where they almost were going to enter me in my own little slot. And I was like, no, I want to be with the other girls. I came in 5th place out of 23 women in a senior bodybuilding show. And it was awesome. I mean, when you do things that energize you, and it's a vicious circle that goes upward. So now, not only do I stay energized, but I'm always trying to figure out how can I help other people have what I have. And that's why I wrote Final Fat Meltdown,
Awesome. So look, great stories and great journey. And kind of the key thing what we were going to focus in on was the ageless energy. Maybe we can kind of not leave people with, but maybe we can kind of go through like 3 keys to ageless energy. And I know I saw bits and pieces from your story, but maybe we can really kind of highlight those 3
right.
and expand on them a little bit more. So what would be the first key that people would need to do in order to get ageless energy?
So I think the first thing is preparing. So when women say they don't have time and they can't eat healthy and have to skip breakfast, if you make little, women are so concerned with the outcome that they don't focus on the little daily steps that can make huge differences. It isn't that you have to worry about losing 25 or 40 pounds. How about just not eating foods that say diet? So I guess the number one thing would be eating foods maybe that don't even have a label, maybe even for 2 days, and then after 2 days, 3 days, not low fat, low sugar, prepackaged. Those are, it's okay for me to say, basically a chemical shitstorm with women's hormones. I mean, we are slaves to our hormones. Sorry, guys. I mean, you just don't get it. But when we
Oh, we
add,
are slaves to your hormones as well. I'm married,
okay.
and I know when my wife's hormones are crazy.
Yeah, right.
I'm the
Exactly.
first
This
to
is
get the
true.
wrath of them.
There are right where there are women, there are men, and then you have to fall prey to our hormones, right? But a starving woman or a woman on a diet is probably the meanest woman that you'll ever find.
Oh,
So
that's a good
I
point.
feel like also a woman that's loaded with chemicals. And if you're loaded with chemicals, you're not going to set your body up for fat loss or energy. So, I mean, the number one thing, I guess, in answer to your question is eating real foods that don't have labels or ingredients that you recognize. That's probably the first number one step.
Uh-huh. Okay, no, that's good. I like that. Not, eating things that don't have a label. That's
Right.
a really good analogy. Awesome.